if you want to get ahead, you have to do something that nobody else wants to do.
Right.
And so when I was being interviewed
This book, right?
over on Guam, oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I got to the end of the line, and as the guys had come out, I'd ask what you asked to run. And milling machine was hard, and nobody had asked to run a milling machine. So when it came my turn, I told the guy I interviewed I wanted to run a milling machine. And he was an officer, I don't remember the rank, but he got up out of his desk, he come around, he put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Oh, I'm glad to see somebody wants to run something besides a lathe." But after that, I was in charge of milling machines everywhere I went in the Navy for 4 years. I signed in for 3, but Korean War started, and so I got hung up another year. But the running all that's, oh, and another thing, I never did tell anybody, I don't think, about this. While I was there, I read a story about a guy that was blind that learned to run a milling machine. And so I got to thinking about it. And I used to do that just for fun, whatever he was doing, because everything is centered up. If you realize or remember where everything is, and you put your tools in, but I used to could stand there, I could put my finger on, and that was automatic, and I could feel the machine running and count the revolutions and shut the machine off. And I used to do that while, just to shake people up. My mill would be going along and I wasn't even looking at it, and I'd just reach over and shut it off. But to imagine the stuff that people do that can't even see, you know? Yeah. Anyway, but I still love machine work. I don't have too much left over. I bought this brass tube. You bought one of my little cars.
Yes.
The
Model T.
hood, the trunk is part of this tubing.
Oh.
And then when I bought that, then I did use it to make some of my teapots and some of my beer stein, I think it was. Because instead of having to use a whole big bar of steel to bore it out, well, I could just use the tubing, you know. Oh, and this here is what saves you. This here.
The big book.
Yeah. Everything you need, springs, ball bearings, clips, and then I buy all my brass out of there too.
Oh, so it's a company that you can purchase
Yeah,
stuff from.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, MSC.
But, boy,
Huh?
I just call them up and tell them I needed to, but everything, oh golly, you know, like just all
I've
the
never seen
tools. It's hard to imagine that the stuff there isn't anything that you can really think of that you have to make that isn't already made somewhere.
That's what he says all the time. Yeah. I've
And-
just come up with an invention. You look on the internet and it's already been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you can do is maybe use part of this one. Do you know that of all the puzzles I made, when I first started, I tried to patent one of my puzzles. It was a nut and bolt puzzle. And the patent office just wrote back and said there wasn't enough original material. But they never even bothered to take the bolt apart.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that. So I never patented any of my work.
And you're richer for it.
Yeah.
No one stole anything.
Yeah. In fact, I almost thought of his name again now. Wally.
Wally Lee.
Yeah, Wally Lee. He's a pest. But anyway, he'd send me, darn near volumes, you might say, but a bunch of papers that he got from the patent office. And I've made quite a few of them for him that he wanted to make patterns for him to make them.
Sorry.